Looted by British troops in Nigeria, the museum now handing back the Benin Bronzes. Artefacts on display at a London museum that were looted from West Africa will be signed over to Nigeria at a special ceremony this evening. The Horniman in Forest Hill has a collection of 72 items, including these known as the Benin Bronzes, that were taken by British troops in the 19th century. Let's get more from Matt Graveling, who joins us now. Hi, Matt.
Well, Riz, in the Horniman Museum behind me on this dark November evening, a little bit of history is taking place, and that's because 72 items that have been housed here in Forest Hill for more than a century are in the process of being signed over to Nigeria. Now, people here today have been telling me this is about righting the wrongs of Britain's colonial past. It was in 1892 that thousands of items were taken from West Africa during a British raid, and they are now found in museums right across the world. Well, many, just like here, are now in the process of returning them to Nigeria. A little bit earlier, I went inside to find out more.
The objects ended up here because there was a British punitive expedition against Benin City over a trade embargo in February 1897, which led to wholesale looting of the city and thousands of objects entering the market in Britain. And Frederick Horniman bought some of those, possibly the earliest one, and they've been here for the past 125 years.
The Horniman Museum in southeast London has a variety of different artefacts, but as part of its exhibition, it also has some Benin Bronzes, and 72 items, majority of them in this display cabinet behind me, will be now in the process of being returned to Nigeria. And despite the name Benin Bronzes, there's actually a variety of different materials being used, from ivory to wood and even brass.
For museums to continue to display these objects is morally wrong and ethically not right for them as institutions. And therefore it is important that they do the right thing to repatriate these objects. So we will now decide on where these objects will go, so that for the benefit of Nigerians and other tourists that will come to Nigeria.
This is part of a gradual recognition, I think, of the colonial legacy of many of the museum collections in the UK. And this is to me, about doing good history. It's telling a wider story. This is part of a gradual trend in UK museums.
Many hope that many museums will now continue this trend, mentioned there by Nick Merriman, but there have been questions asked by the British Museum, who housed more than 900 items from the historic Kingdom of Benin. In a statement, they told us that they understand and recognise the significance of the issues of returning objects, and they're working hard to make sure that the collection is shared as widely as possible. As for the item here, 6 of them will be returned to West Africa immediately, and as for the other 66, well, they will now be owned by Nigeria, but discussions will continue to see if some of them can be loaned back to museums here in London, so Britain can continue to learn about its past.